Hi, my name is Kelly and welcome to my channel. Okay, so you may have seen recently, well, it probably will have been a couple of weeks ago by now, by the time you're watching this. But today, I just had my vlog for reading Catching Fire go live on YouTube, and I loved the book so much that me and Lucy loved the book so much. And of course, it ends on a cliffhanger. So we immediately wanted to start reading the next one. We had to wait until after the weekend because she went to spend some time with some friends and she wanted to be able to give them all of her attention, which I think is what she should be doing. So, but now that the weekend's over, she's ready to start. And so we're going to read a couple of chapters a day of Mockingjay. And I'm really excited. After finishing Catching Fire, me and my daughter sat down and watched the movie for it, which, holy cow, let me tell you, Jennifer Lawrence, like, she does emotional scenes really well. Like, she doesn't, it's not like she feels like she needs to look pretty during them. Like, she does the ugly cry and everything, and it just makes it like hit that much harder. So, yeah, we were both bawling. But anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited to start Mockingjay. And I'm also nervous because that's like, this is the last book in the original trilogy for the series. And I know that Suzanne Collins came out with two other books kind of recently. And I'm nervous because what if I don't like those as much as I like this one, which I'm sure is something that like a lot of people have wondered, but I also know like most people who have read them really enjoyed them. So here's to hoping that if I get to those that I will also enjoy them because I was not expecting to love this series this much, and I have really truly enjoyed it, and I'm so glad I finally read it, and I'm so glad that I got to share the reading experience with Lucy because being able to talk about the books with her and just kind of like bounce things off of each other has been a lot of fun. So anyhow, I just wanted to let you guys know I'm reading this now, and I'm really excited about it. And yeah, I'm just gonna let this be another vlog because a couple of people said that they wanted me to vlog reading the entire series. And um, while I'm not particularly great at the vlogging yet, this is only going to be my third video. I thought that it was kind of fun, just kind of sharing the experience with you. I know that I make these spoilery, so I'm sorry if you don't like the spoilery ones, but I don't know how to vlog my reactions to things without getting super spoilery. And plus, I thought it'd be kind of fun to just like you like being able to see my like genuine reaction to some of the things happening. Um, and then if you've already read it, you can tell me if I'm misunderstanding something. But anyhow, I'm gonna go so that I can read my first two chapters. Okay. Okay, so I am 4 chapters in now. I didn't film anything after reading the first 2 chapters, but I read the second 2 chapters today, or second set of chapters today. Anyway, so I read those. I'm at chapter 4, and I have some thoughts. Okay, first of all, um, she is in District 13. They're underground, surviving. She's been a bit obstinate, I would say, when it comes to being willing to do anything that they want her to do, which I don't blame her. Like, girl obviously has some PTSD and she has been through some crazy stuff. And she was taken against her will and made to leave PETA behind. That still makes me angry. They left PETA behind And who knows what the Capitol's doing to him right now. He did show up in like an interview with Caesar, and he was like, you guys, like, everybody just needs to stop fighting. A lot of people are going to die, and like, we need to prevent this. And so, like, guys, everybody needs to have a ceasefire. And then now people in District 13 are saying that he's a traitor, which, I mean, it's very likely he had no choice but to say that. You think President Snow didn't put him up to it? I mean, come on. Anyway, so, poor Finnick, it's like dude lost his mind or something. Like, he has completely retreated into himself. And of course, he's worried about Annie. So, like, I feel like he just needs a hug. Dude just needs a hug. And I wish I could give him one because my heart is breaking for him. He seems so lost. And then Katniss was finally allowed to like go to District 12, look around, see what's going on. And she ends up getting the cat to take it back to Prim, of course. But it's just, you know, seeing the destruction, seeing what she lost, and then being in District 13 essentially as a refugee, but also they're trying to make her like the symbol of the revolution, the rebels. And she is just being torn in so many different directions, and I feel so bad for her. And I don't know. It's horrible, and it's just chaotic. And we haven't seen much of Haymitch after she attacked him at the end of the last book. But apparently that's because he's detoxing right now. So, I don't know. I guess hopefully he's okay. I will say, like, they are so strict in District 13. And I guess I understand why, like, I guess, but I don't, what's her name? What's her name? The lady, President Coin, who's in charge of District 13. I don't like her. I have seen very little from her, but I do not trust her at all. I do not like her. First of all, when Katniss, finally she's agreeing. She's like, yes, I'll be your Mockingjay. I'll be your symbol, but here are the things you have to do. You have to let my sister keep her cat. You have to let me go hunting every day. Okay? And they're like, all right, sure, whatever. And then she's like, you have to keep PETA and the other tributes that were captured and taken back to the Capitol, you have to, like, pardon them for whatever they say or do while they're there. They have no option in it. You have to pardon them. And she's like, nope. Like, why would President Coin just be like, no, we are going to hold these captives responsible for whatever they are made to say or do? Like, it's like she wants someone to place blame on and to punish, which I get it to a degree. Really, that should be more Snow than the people who were made to go into the games and then captured and taken back to the Capitol. Like, why would they be? Anyway, she made me angry, but she finally agreed to it. And then Katniss was like, ugh. And then Katniss was like, you have to announce it to everyone. That way I have witnesses that you're agreeing to do this. So President Coin does that. And then right after says, but if Katniss doesn't hold to her end of this deal of being our Mockingjay, then we don't have to hold to our end to take care of the people and pardon them for what they did. So she just threatened her. Like, you do what I say and the way I want you to do it, or we're just going to go ahead and just kill them, get rid of them. Like, I don't like her. I don't trust her. I do not. I don't. And she had Katniss's team, I guess they had kidnapped her, like, team that made her beautiful or whatever. They kidnapped them to, like, help with her because Cinna was like, she'll want people around her that she knows. So they kidnapped them from the Capitol. But then, instead of being like, hey, here's what's going on, let's work together on this and let us explain things to you. Like, they don't tell them anything, and then they're starving and they go for more food and then they get in trouble. And now they've been beaten and chained up in this dungeon type room. Like, it's. So I feel like she traded one capital for another capital that's disguised as the good guys at this point. Like, I don't know. And maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but I don't like President Coin, and I have an inky feeling about this whole District 13 thing. I have a bad feeling about it. Like, there has to be a third option. I feel like there has to be. Maybe I'll change my mind as I'm reading this, but right now I think that there needs to be a third option. This cannot be her only two options. It can't be. Anyway, so those are my thoughts so far. Yeah. I wish I knew. So me and Lucy decided that we weren't going to tell each other stuff again. But I really want to ask her what she thinks about District 13. I want to know. I want to know what she thinks about President Coin. Like, is she thinking also, like, something's off here? I don't know. But anyway, I wish I could talk to her about it. This is. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go. I'll let you guys know when I've read some more. All right, so it's been a couple of days since I've said anything, but I figured I'd go ahead and get on and just kind of give you guys an update so you can know where I am in the story. Well, real quick before I do that, I do want to let you guys know, I've been having petite seizures all day. So if you see me have a petite seizure or like kind of have a jerky moment, or if like I just suddenly forget what I was saying, just know that that's it. It's just, and for those who don't know what a petite seizure is, it's just a seizure on a smaller scale that I'm conscious for, at least the ones that I have. So I have myoclonic seizures, and it's like when you're going to sleep and you're in between sleep and awake and your body jerks. So my body does that, but while I'm awake. And sometimes, like, and I'm conscious during it, I just don't have control over it. And it's very quick. It's just, I've been having them like all morning and into the afternoon, which is unusual. Not unheard of. It's just, it doesn't happen often. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Like, if you see something weird while I'm talking, that's it. Okay, so I am one chapter into part 2, where, what did they call part 2? Oh, the assault. So she's agreed to be their Mockingjay. And I still don't trust Coin. I don't trust her. Like, there is something off about her. I think that she's on the right side of like the fight, but I don't trust her. I don't know why. She seems maybe manipulative, deceitful. I don't know what it is, but I don't like her. Also, Katniss went to District 8 right after it had been bombed, like, to just kind of like do some video stuff, try to get some propaganda out to people, letting them know like the revolution's still on, let's keep going. And she gets there and like they're taking all the injured people to the hospital, and then the Capitol comes back and bombs the hospital where people are injured and can't protect themselves, and they weren't trying to fight. It's just, anyway, so obviously Katniss ticked. She records a message for Snow, essentially saying, if we burn, you're gonna burn too. Like, we are not going down without a fight. Like, this is horrible what you've done. So that's going on. And then we get to see another like interview with Peeta, but now he's like super thin. And it's only been like 5 days since the previous one. So now he's like super thin. He's kind of like shaky, twitchy, acting weird. Like, he's been tortured, but now he's also lost weight. Like, which she ends up thinking like maybe the first one that we saw of him where he looked healthy was from way before, like right after I got taken from the games. And so anyway, poor Peeta. Like, poor Peeta. I just want to make him safe. My husband came in and talked to me for a little bit, and now I don't remember what I was saying. That's okay. I think I was just talking about like something's going on with PETA and he's being tortured or something. Like, I'm pretty sure that's where I was. If not, oh well. Okay, so another thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that I absolutely adore Finnick. Like I mentioned before, that like he seems like he's missing a couple screws now. He's just completely like retreated into himself. But we keep having moments of like his old self again. And there was a part I literally laughed out loud. It was just like his old cockiness coming back, but in one of the most hilarious ways. And it was just, it was so funny. I adore Finnick. I want him to get better because I love seeing this side of him. Like, it's just, he seems like a really good guy. Even though in the beginning of the last book, I was like, meh, don't know about this dude, but I adore him now. I absolutely adore him. Okay, so the last thing that I read is the Capitol was doing a like announcement thing where Snow was talking and behind him was PETA. And Snow's like, oh, you know, the rebels are doing all this stuff. And then uh, Beatty was able to put information on, like, override the Capitol and put their own videos over it for like 10 to 15 seconds each time. And he would get kicked off and then he would just put another one. But while he was doing that, because the thing with Snow was live, PETA saw Katniss on the screen and he was like, oh, there's something going on. And so like you just see him kind of being like, you know, what am I going to do? Like what's happening? And then he gives them a warning that District 13 will be dead by morning, which means that Snow is sending people probably to bomb them. And so everyone's like, what is going on? What do we do? And so everybody's like, okay, so we need to retreat. We need to get to safety. But before the TV goes off, they see PETA being beaten for warning them. And it's so sad. And I hope he's okay. He has to be okay. It's PETA. He has to be okay. He has to be okay. Okay? There's no argument about this. He has to be okay. I adore PETA. I need him to be okay. Anyway, so they went down to like down further into their little like underground city thing, and pretty soon after they got down there, the Capitol started bombing them. And so that's pretty much where we're at right now. Prim said something that I think is probably going to be like along the lines of almost being prophetic, like at least for the book. Anyway, so she's talking about how like she's really concerned for PETA, and Prim says he's not going to kill PETA because he knows that you care about PETA, and if he doesn't have PETA under his control, then he doesn't have any control over you. And so she's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, especially after what Joanna said about she's not afraid of Snow because Snow already took everything that she cared about. And so then in talking with Prim, Katniss says, so what do you think they'll do to him? And Prim says, whatever it takes to break you. And now I'm really nervous because she's right. Or at least I think she's right. They're not going to kill him. But now I'm nervous about what they will do to him. I'm so nervous. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and read my couple of chapters for the day. And I'll let you guys know what I think later. Is Gail really jealous of her going to talk to Finnick? Gosh, Gail irritates me so bad. But at the same time, she has in some ways definitely led him to think that I don't know. Listen. It's kind of on her too. Because of the fact that she keeps kissing him, knowing how he feels about her. But seriously, he's jealous of her going to talk to Finnick. Get over it. I used to, like, I'm not a big fan of him. I'm not a big fan of him. And I feel like the more this goes on, the more I see aspects of him that I'm not a big fan of. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I have like half the book left, so we'll see. Okay, so Gail is going to go help rescue PETA. Yay. This is good. This is good. They're going to try to rescue PETA. This makes me happy. A little frustrated that they didn't try to do it sooner, but I understand Hamish's like explanation of why they didn't, but yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be good. What? 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 Wait, no. Why are we only reading 2 chapters a day? What? Why? 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 Why did PETA just try to choke her? Why? Why? I may have to text Lucy and say that I need to immediately read the next chapter. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean he just tried to choke her? What? What is going on? Ah! Okay. 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 I need to message Lucy. I need to see if she's okay with us continuing to read because I can't. Oh, this is so hard only reading 2 chapters a day. I can't not read why he's trying to choke her. Oh no, but I can't let her know what's going on because we're not talking about it. What? How am I going to? Oh, I need to figure something out. Okay, I gotta go. All right, so I did not read more chapters yesterday. I kind of touched base with Lucy just a little bit, just to let her know what chapter I had finished. And she said that she was behind. And I didn't want to add any stress to her of trying to catch up and get back on track by me adding more chapters. So I decided to go ahead and wait, which is fine because that's what we had agreed to doing. I was just really impatient yesterday because I was like, I need to know, but it's fine. I read the 2 chapters for today and I have some answers. So they hijacked PETA, which is essentially like they made him go crazy with Tracker Jack or Venom, making him think that Katniss was actually evil, to the point where he thinks that she's a mutt and that she's just not real and she's like evil and trying to kill everybody wild. Anyhow, so that explains a lot, but it breaks my heart. And she's sitting here mourning over him and then making out with Gale. This girl cannot make up her mind. And I feel like the only time she does anything with Gale is when she is heartbroken about PETA or when it's like Gale is wounded, whether it be body or emotions. Um, so I didn't really like that. And I like Gale even less now. I like him even less because of the fact that he has been making plans with Beatty on like setting traps for people, but doing it in a way that is just, in my opinion, very inhumane. Like he's all about like killing everyone off, essentially. Um, he talks about setting off a bomb and then waiting long enough for people to come and start helping the wounded before setting off another bomb and killing all of them. That's horrible. And now they're trying to figure out how to take out like the military that is kind of secluded within this mountain in District 2. And everyone's like, well, we could do it in avalanche. Well, he'd suggest an avalanche to just kind of trap everyone inside. And they're like, but they might suffocate. All those people would die. And then someone's like, well, they could escape through this way, as like they could get out. And he goes, nope, not if we block that. Like he wants to kill everyone. I think it's going to cause a problem later. And honestly, it kind of, ugh. He has no compassion. And that's dangerous. Like, super dangerous. He is operating from a place of anger and hurt, like to the point where it's going to cause issues, I feel like. Anyhow, so those are my thoughts so far. She needs to stop making out with Gail because we don't like him. I don't know about we, you and me, but I don't. I don't like him. The royal we. And they just need to make PETA better. I hope the Prim's idea works of like hijacking him again with tracker jacker. I just forgot the word, but the venom, like making him hallucinate again and then giving him morphling to like get him to chill out. And then hopefully that will cancel out what the Capitol did with hijacking him. Maybe. I hope so. Because PETA was just the sweetest thing. So sweet. And now he's not himself anymore. And he wants to kill her. It makes me sad. Anyhow, that's it for today. I'm going to be good. I'm going to stick to my 2 chapters. I'm going to be good. Anyway, I will let you guys know when I read more. All right, so it's been another couple of days. I've finished part 2, and there's just crazy stuff going on. So there's always crazy stuff going on. It's the Hunger Games. Well, at this point, the Mockingjay. So anyhow, they've been trying to, like I had mentioned before, trying to get PETA back to where he was before. He can kind of handle being around Katniss now, kind of. He's still like really super rude to her and just mean. Just mean to her. And it's almost like he doesn't really like see her fully as a human, which for a while he did think that she was a mutt. So, but he's just, yeah, super mean to her. He actually got yelled at by one of his childhood friends for the way that he was treating her. So hopefully that did something. Katniss is now rooming with Joanna because they wouldn't let Joanna room by herself, and they all wanted to go and fight against the Capitol. And they made them like go through the training stuff, and Joanna didn't make it because she like freaked out because they like made the training flooded, and that's part of how the Capitol tortured her. Horrible. So she doesn't get to go, but Katniss gets to go. And so she's like, she was supposed to be like on the sniper team, sharpshooter, whatever they called it. She's supposed to be part of like one of those elite teams. And then they're like, actually, we want you guys on video. And so now they're doing essentially nothing. Like walking around areas that are already cleared and pretending like they're doing stuff. And so they're all very frustrated at that. And one of them dies though, because she shot like I don't remember what they called it. Essentially, it's like some form of an IED kind of thing. And so, like, she shot it, and it shot out metal shards, shot her in the head, like, got her in the head, and then they were like, okay, we need someone to replace her. And the person who showed up was PETA to a war zone in the same unit as Katniss, whom he was recently trying to kill. Like, what? I hope he's better, because that's wild. Like, that was a choice that someone made. That, like, whether it went one way or the other, that was a choice that someone made. That's insane. So anyhow, now I'm getting ready to read part 3, The Assassin, and we're doing sprints right now. I'm not on the sprints, but Lucy's doing sprints, and I just got home from church, and so I'm gonna do some sprints and hopefully get some reading done. I don't think I have enough time on this sprint because I decided to film. But I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then hopefully I'll get some answers as to why in the world PETA has been sent to a war zone to fight with the person that he recently tried to kill. Still boggling my mind. I hope Peeta's better. I just need them to make him better. Anyway, I'm gonna go so I can do this. I know that they're scared. Well, she's scared. People are scared that Peeta's going to try to kill her. But for the first thing for Gail to say is, "Do you want me to kill him?" I like I know he cares about Katniss, and I know he's trying to be a good friend and that he would do anything for her. But I feel like I don't like his morals. He is so quick to be okay with killing, and that really bothers me. Anyway, Boggs is dying. So like the commander dude, he's dying. And he whispers to her, "Don't trust them. Don't go back." As in, don't go back to District 13. He says, "Kill Peeta. Do what you came to do." Well, she came to sneak away and kill Snow, which is great. But kill Peeta? So, okay, I was right not to trust District 13 or Coin, evidently, according to Boggs, what he just said. Don't kill Peeta, though. Don't do that. Don't kill Peeta. Maybe he can still get better. I know that he just tried to kill you again, but maybe he can still get better. Okay, anyway, all right. What is happening in this book? Okay, I'm in the middle of a chapter, but I just had to like touch base for a second. Walk away for a second and touch base for a second. I'm reading this right now, and they are trying to get to Snow by going underground. And all of a sudden there's this hissing noise, and they're all like, "You gotta go, we gotta run." And well, Peeta was the one that was like, "Something's wrong, you need to run." And so they're all running, and then they get to this point where there's what are they called, the peacekeepers, and they come and they shoot them. They kill the peacekeepers, and then she's like, another wave of peacekeepers comes, and it is not peacekeepers. It's these white creatures that are as tall as men, but like kind of lanky. And then they're crawling, like lowered themselves to the ground and like crawling towards them. They bite off all the heads of the peacekeepers, and now they're like coming at them like these things crawling. And it's really creepy, and I don't like it. Like my brain is way too vivid of an imagination. Like I see this in my head, and it's creepy. So I just needed to take a moment. First of all, what? Like, I know these are usually mutts, like mutations, right? Like those other mutts that were in the arena in the first book. Like, they were able to look at them and be like, okay, it's like a mutation of this animal. What is this a mutation of? Because this is creepy. Anyhow, okay, I'm going to keep reading. Ready for this? For the first time, I get a good look at them. A mix of human and lizard and who knows what else. Why do they do these things? That's so gross. I don't like it. I do not like it. Mm. You know, I'm getting real tired of Suzanne killing off my favorite people. Nick, he just got married. And he was... Why Finnick? Finnick should have made it to the end. Finnick should have... He should have made it to the end. I'm not okay with this. I am not okay with this at all. I am so angry. It was Finnick. Okay. Keep reading. There better be no one else that dies that I love. Now that I said that, I know there's going to be. Just know it. Because this is Suzanne Collins. She kills the people we love. I'm not okay. In case you're wondering. I'm not okay. Okay, so I had to take a break after reading yesterday. I was really not happy. I was upset. I was so upset. I'm still upset. So I know, like, it was the end of chapter 4. I know it hasn't explicitly said it yet, but I know that it was the rebels that just blew up a bunch of children and then let people go into hell and then blew up those people too, because that's exactly what Gale said one of his plans would be, is to blow up some people, let people come in to help, and then blow up more people. I know that it was the rebels that did this with Gale's planning behind it. I don't know if it was for this specific situation, but it was Gale who came up with this idea. It talked about it earlier. And now we are seeing a bunch of children have been blown up, which is not okay. They got so angry at the Capitol blowing up the hospital where people were helpless, and then they turn around and blow up a bunch of children? That's horrible. And the people that went in to help were their own people, including Prim. I think Prim's dead. That's why I had to walk away. I think Prim's dead. Right after me being so upset about Finnick, 2 chapters later, I'm pretty sure Prim is dead. And it's because of the messed up way that Gale had come up with to do more damage to the Capitol by killing innocent children. He may not have said children, but he sure did want to kill people that were going to help people who were wounded. That was his idea, and I'm angry. Anyway, so I, believe it or not, am actually calmed down enough that I can read again now. I'm going to try to get some reading done because I actually have a live chat about The Hobbit that I'm doing with Kay tonight. I'm super excited. So I want to get just a little bit of reading done before I meet up with her on that. So we'll see how sane I am after reading the next little bit. We'll see. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. It was the rebels that killed all those children. I knew it. That makes me so angry. And stupid Gale and Beatty coming up with the idea in the first place. That makes me so angry. Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to get ready for my live discussion on The Hobbit now. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish this book tonight. Me and Lucy talked about just getting it done today, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish it tonight. Yay. Okay, so I am done with my conversation with Kay about The Hobbit. That was so much fun. My cheeks hurt from smiling so much. It was a blast. But I have 2 chapters left of this. and I'm going to finish it. I'm going to finish it right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start, guys. She wants to have another Hunger Games? What they've been fighting against? What they've been saying no to? What they've been saying is horrible this whole time? And Coin wants to have another Hunger Games. I knew I didn't like her. I knew I didn't like her. And by the way, Gale is also fairly confident that it was his mom that did it. He just didn't know that they were going to do it beforehand. But I think we're fairly confident. It was his idea of the bomb and Beatty carrying it out and people using it that did that. Anyway, why? Why another Hunger Games? People, okay. They're gonna do it? They voted yes. She said yes for Prim, but then right before that, she's like, nothing has changed. Nothing will ever change now. Like, then why did she vote yes? And then Haymitch agrees with her. I think because he just trusts her. Why are they doing this again? She killed Coin. Oh my gosh. She took the third option. This whole time I thought there wasn't going to be a third option, but I said that there needed to be. She made a third option. She made a third option. Listen, I do not condone killing people. But I'm so glad that she took out Coin. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Coin, I have not liked her from the beginning, and I'm nah. She's dead. Katniss shot her. That's wild. People are about to freak out. Okay. Well, that was such a wild ride. Like, this entire series. I'm probably going to come back in a couple days with, like, some deeper thoughts. But this was so good. Like, so after she ends up killing Coin, and Snow dies, they end up having a trial for her, deciding what to do with her, and they decide no one knows what to do with her. So they send her back to 12 to just live out her life there. Haymitch goes with her to watch over her, but really, I don't think that Haymitch would be doing great anywhere else, so that's probably good for him. Her mom doesn't come back because then she'd be where both her husband and her daughter Prim used to live. Even if it was to take care of Katniss, that's just too hard for her. And Katniss seems to understand that, which I'm glad, because I can totally understand how that would be really hard. But then Peeta shows up. Peeta shows up too, and indicates that he would have been there sooner, but the doctor wouldn't let him come back sooner. So Peeta shows up and like starts bringing her back to herself, and and Greasy Say is there making food for her too. But anyway, he just starts bringing her back to herself, and then they have this moment that I just absolutely love. So it's at the end of the last chapter, but before the epilogue, and she's talking about how Peeta is comforting her. And then she ends up kissing him again. And it says, so after, when he whispers, you love me, real or not real? I tell him, real. And I think that that's so beautiful. And like, she talks about how she would have ended up with Peeta no matter what, because she didn't need another person that sees such negative things in the world like her. She needed someone who would be a good balance to her and help her to see the good and the life. And she said that's what Peeta is. And so I love that she comes to this realization of it would have been Peeta the entire time. And I think that that's just a really beautiful moment because, you know, they've both been needing to figure out, okay, what's real, what's not real, what's real, what's not real throughout this entire book, really. And, you know, for that to be, that's cute. That's really cute. And then they had kids. It says that it took her like 15 years to be okay with it, but they have kids. And I think that's wonderful. I think that's wonderful. Anyway, I already watched the first movie like halfway through the book for Mockingjay because apparently there's like two movies for it. They divided it into two movies. So I'm probably going to go watch this with my daughter now because she's been watching them with me. And probably be back maybe tomorrow or the next day just with some of my final thoughts about the book as a whole. Probably. Okay, so it's actually now, instead of a couple of days, it's been a week because right after I filmed that last bit, I ended up getting sick and losing my voice. And so it's, yeah, been about a week and I'm just now able to talk somewhat. You can probably tell I'm still scratchy, but I'm finally able to do this. And so, do you know what though? I'm glad that I had that time though, because I've been able to think on not only just this book, but the whole series, the trilogy, original three, not talking about the other two, but this original trilogy from like a Christian mindset and just kind of ruminate on it a bit. So I'm kind of glad for this time, but I wish I could have had it without getting sick. So anyway, Mockingjay. I feel like this was such a great ending to the trilogy. And truly, like, that's about as good as I could have expected. Does she still struggle? Yes, but she has PTSD. But it doesn't mean that she isn't able to go about living a happier life and that she didn't help bring about a happier life for all of Panem through what she went through what she did. So it was seriously the emotional ride that you go through with this series, with this book in particular. I mean, all of them, but like, oh, so much happened in this book that just broke my heart. And it was all so emotional. And you have like those highs and you have those lows, and it was just, and definitely quite a bit grittier than the movies. So if you've seen the movies but you haven't got around to reading the books yet, I would definitely read the books because even though they're a bit more, why am I putting this in front of my face? Even though they're a bit grittier, you understand what's going on more, and it helps you to see what really like was going on with Katniss internally, and it helps you to see like just where Panem was in like where they were ready for all of this to happen, and some of the stuff that the confusion and stuff like that they had moving forward. So good though. Like, I'm so glad I read this trilogy. It is amazing. And I can't wait to read the next two books that she wrote. I do have them. They are ready. They're all the way up there. And I'm not going to stand up just to get them. But they're up there. And I'm excited to read them. So, some of my thoughts on people in particular. So, I love Cinna. And it breaks my heart that he did die in the second book. And but I love that he was still mentioned and he still had a presence in this last book. I thought that was beautiful. And let's see, Peeta, still a stinking sweetheart. And even when he was being tortured, he was still able to give that warning of the bombing. And I just, what a stinking sweetheart. And he is so strong in so many ways. And I stinking adore him. Like, A plus. Peeta is magnificent. Gale, I think, I have some mixed emotions on Gale. I think that he was a really good friend to Katniss. He truly cared about her. He truly cared about her family. I think that he um, was so bitter that he formed a bit of a bloodlust in not caring who died or how they died. As far as he was concerned, if it was anybody from the capital, he didn't care who died or how they died, essentially. Like, or even from District 2 when they were trying to figure out how to deal with the people that were in the mountain. And so um I think that that bitterness turned into a hatred that surpassed reasonable thinking, and I knew that it was going to cause an issue. I knew it. I knew that his bloodlust was going to be an issue. And Katniss warned him so many times, you're going too far, you're going too far. And then him going too far with some of his ideas, even though he didn't actually end up implementing the one situation with the double bomb, it was his idea. And so his bloodlust led to him doing what he never wanted to do, which was harming Katniss and her family. And I just, I feel like that's honestly, like, listen, I'm going to be talking about some like Christian perspective here, but I feel like that is such a huge thing that we as people in general need to know and need to understand and need to live by anyway, is the understanding that if your anger turns into bitterness, which then turns into hatred, it's not only going to hurt the people that you're directing it towards, it's going to hurt the people around you because you're operating from a place of anger. You're operating from a place of hate. And while some of the other people were operating from a place of hate, even Katniss a lot of the time, she also was drawing the line of, you know, these people are not at fault for this, and there needs to be a line of what is the appropriate response and what is not. And Gail just kind of flew by that line, and it, like I said, it hurt the people he never wanted to hurt, and it caused a permanent rift between him and Katniss, the very person he may have cared the most about. And there's this permanent rift there now because he could not get past the hatred approach, move towards the let's take care of business approach without it being based in hatred, you know? So I do feel like he was a good friend and he meant well, and he really did want to care for the people around him, but he went at it the wrong way and therefore ended up harming the people around him. Let's see. Katniss. I have so much to say about Katniss. First of all, I mentioned earlier, like, her PTSD, and my heart just goes out to her. I am the spouse of a veteran who has PTSD, and honestly, like, not nearly as bad as what the book describes for her most of the time, but I've still seen the effects of it, and I know the effects it has on the people around my husband and like me and my kids and his other family members. Like, it's something that affects all of us. And so just seeing the way that her PTSD affected her, how it made her feel hopeless, how it made her not care about life in many situations, that was heartbreaking for me. Just to be able to read from the perspective of a person going through that. And I've spent the past several years trying to understand where my husband is coming from with his PTSD a lot more. And I think it mentally prepared me to look at her situation for what it truly was as well. Because it'd be so easy to look at her and be like, oh, what a spoiled brat, or, you know, whatever. But no, she was operating from a place of PTSD. Like, she was struggling and she was surviving the only way that she knew how, given especially what she had gone through. And so I just, man, great character. And like, she was going through that as a teenager. Of course she's not going to be able to handle some of that stuff mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Like, she went through so much as a teenager, and so much weight was put on her as a teenager. And honestly, like, even though she was not fully there with some of her reasoning or some of her choices sometimes. She handled it like a champ. I will say that. And there were a couple of things that as a Christian that really stood out to me about her. The fact that she's kind of like a Christ figure, especially in the beginning, because she comes from a district that is essentially seen as the least of in a lot of ways. And nobody expects anything great from her. And her sister, when she gets drawn for the reaping, she volunteers, she sacrifices herself for her younger sibling, which that's exactly what Christ did for us. He sacrificed himself for us so that we could come to the body of Christ, so that we could become children of God. And he did that for us, for his younger siblings. And I thought that that was a very beautiful correlation between those two things. And she just constantly sacrifices herself again and again for those around her, and or for her people or for the nation. She is constantly willing to sacrifice herself, even in the final moments. Like, she killed Coin, and then she was ready. Well, she was essentially sacrificing herself. She knew that, or she felt that she would end up being killed for killing Coin, and so she was going to take the pill because she was just like, they're going to kill me anyway. But she did that because she knew that Coin needed to die for the good of the entire country, and she sacrificed herself to be able to do that, to save the rest of the country. And I like, yeah, she's not the perfect one-for-one Christ, picture of Christ, but in a lot of ways, she really showed that picture of Christ, the picture of Christ that is sacrificial. And I just really liked that. There were also a couple of other things, like the fact that the enemy, the capital, Snow and all of his little people, they take the things that are natural, the things that are good, and they mutate them into something evil. And that's so on par with what the enemy does, right? So he takes what God meant for good and he just slightly mutates it to look similar, but it's off base and it's not meant for good, and it gets us totally distracted and off the course, right? And so that's just, it kind of reminded me of what the enemy does. He takes what God meant for good and tries to turn it towards something distracting or evil, and just off base of what it was meant to be. And so I thought that was really powerful. And honestly, one of the most powerful things that stood out to me was when both Haymitch and Finnick tell Katniss over and over again, remember who the real enemy is. Remember who the real enemy is. And that's what we as Christians are supposed to do. We're supposed to remember who the real enemy is. Our enemy is not man. Our enemy is Satan. Our enemy is the forces of darkness, right? So that is the enemy. The people around us, the people that are doing life with us, are not the real enemy. Man, the enemy may use them sometime, let me tell you. Boy, does the enemy use them. But these people are essentially just tools for the enemy at this point, whether they realize it or not. The real enemy is those forces of darkness, those principalities, right? And so that is something that really stood out to me, is that they just kept saying, remember who the real enemy is. Remember who the real enemy is. And that's something that we need to do. We need to remember who the real enemy is. So anyway, man, what a powerful trilogy. It was so good. It was great. I'm so glad that I finally read it. I'm glad that I got to watch it, at least with my daughter. My husband and son jumped in and out with the movies, but so good. So good. A great series. I cannot wait to continue. And being able to go through it, reading it with Lucy, has been so wonderful. Even though sometimes we were like, nope, we're not telling each other. It's just been nice to have someone that I know that I wasn't doing it alone, and that she was there and she was going through these emotions and she was going through these things that she was wondering as well. And it was so wonderful having her to buddy read this with. I adore Lucy so much. She's one of my favorite people on Christian BookTube. And so, yeah, I feel like that's it. I don't think I have anything else to say. I know that there were a lot of other things that I kind of thought of, like as a Christian, looking at it almost allegorical. And I'm not saying that this was meant to be allegorical. I'm not saying that it was meant to be some kind of Christian fiction. I'm just saying that as a Christian, I was able to look at it and see Christ in it. And that's something that us as Christians can do. We can look at situations, we can look at the world around us, we can watch a movie, we can read a book, and we can find Christ in it, right? That's not to say that we should be watching or reading everything, but um, we can do that. And it was so wonderful to be able to take this past week and just think about all of the ways that, whether Suzanne Collins meant it or not, that Christ was revealed through these books. And it was beautiful. And I'm so glad I read them. I keep saying that, but I am. I'm so glad I read this series finally. And I'm probably going to read the prequels too. Anyhow, I'm gonna probably let you guys go. I definitely encourage you to go check out Lucy's vlog. She's so awesome, and I know it's going to be amazing. So if you haven't already, definitely go check out her vlog about reading this book. If you've read this series, which I hope that you have, because this has been very spoilery conversation, but if you've read these 3 books already, I'd love to know the things that stood out to you. What are some of those moments that maybe you saw Christ in those moments, or what are some of those moments that just really touched you or made you angry? I mean, whatever. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the trilogy as a whole. And maybe you guys should keep an eye out sometime in the future for me reading the other 2 books. All right, bye guys. My thing's wobbling a lot. There.